If it's about board games, it's on the table. Get ready to join Doug and Michael for Board Game Radio.
Welcome to Board Game Radio. I am Doug Kotecki, along with the second best doctor in gaming, Dr. Michael McCabe. How's it going, Michael?
What's happening, Doug?
Not too much. Any follow-up from last week?
You know, I have a little bit. I'm really glad that you asked. I felt like our sponsor last week, we just want to thank our sponsor from last week, the Nomad Gaming Tables, brought some shade to, I will say, my actual game table is Project Ironside, now by Box King, and I just wanted to show you. So this is just for you, my audience of one. You ready for this?
Okay. Is the table all disassembled in there? Or are those just remnant pieces?
To your question, I was away from my microphone there for a moment to give you a demonstration. That's just the coffee table conversion.
Oh,
that's
okay,
in there.
okay.
All right,
yeah.
It's ready to go if I need it, if I ever want to turn our certainly permanent gaming table into a portable coffee table. I have the flexibility to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
a nice little sand and water table.
I actually love my gaming table, but the intention of initially buying that so that we could take our curriculum guides on the road, and then a 3-year Kickstarter fulfillment process for it to actually show up in my house in May of 23 or 24. I was like, oh yeah, we have a board game table now.
Yeah, I don't even think of your table as being portable. And it's
all you need is an Allen wrench, Doug. An Allen wrench. And the first time I put it together inside out. My kids never let me forget that.
So I actually got an email from Nomad Gaming Tables, and they were not too happy last week.
Whoa,
and
what did we do? What did we do?
Well, I think you.
What did you do? I should say, not we.
I didn't do anything. I feel like they felt that you besmirched their quality item, and that they deserved another an ad spot, and they didn't actually trust you and I to read it. So they got our announcer.
Nice.
I'm going to play it now. This is a new ad from Nomad Gaming Tables.
You did it! You finally have a beautiful, dedicated gaming table. But don't you wish you could bring that same gaming experience everywhere? Introducing the Nomad Foldable Gaming Table. Now you can have all of the creature comforts and niceties from a traditional gaming table on the go. The Nomad Foldable Gaming Table easily fits in an oversized backpack and only weighs 128 pounds. The kit includes 58 interlocking panels, 46 hex screws, 7 table legs, 13 cup holders, and an Allen wrench to put it all together. The table only takes 65 minutes to set up and includes language-independent instructions to create a classic deduction game while you guess how it goes together. You can even incorporate assembly into your game night as a fun, cooperative dexterity game before the heavy games hit the table. Say goodbye to plastic folding tables and hello to the Nomad, bringing gaming elegance everywhere.
Check out the Nomad Gaming Table. We appreciate them as a sponsor, as always. And there's a nice little Easter egg there for you if you watch the video version of the podcast.
Yeah, and I know you and I split the bills for the show, but I did not agree to our sponsor better be picking up the tab on the announcer. That's all that I'm saying, because I thought that we had just had a budget meeting, Doug, and I didn't know we were getting more voiceovers.
No, I think he's got a little side hustle going on. maybe working behind our back, getting some opportunities. Before you know it, he's going to be the voice of board gaming. So, any other follow-up, Michael?
I don't have any follow-up. Most of it I've taken directly to you offline. Just a little bit. My expansion for Darwin's Journey, to answer the question from the people who do view our show at home. Yes, it is behind me. No, I don't have it punched out yet because I'm not going to play that one solo. I'm going to wait until I have a convention and people who want to play that game with me. So I'm excited for the Oceania expansion. I really am. So that's all. Just closing the loop on that.
I've got a little bit of follow up. Last week when we played Troll or No, Michael professed that I finished 4 out of 10.
Correct. You did.
That is incorrect. He did tell me to go back and review the footage, which I did review the footage, and we both went 5 out of 10 last week. So I need to correct the record there, Michael.
And I know that you are salty because in the previous week you only gave me 19 questions instead of 20. So I got bad company correct on the 19th. But you can see now that we're actually competing and playing games on the show,
the gloves are off.
We may have to get Dan or Papa or the other Phil or one of our kids to be a judge.
A neutral party?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I didn't treat the 20 questions as a full-blown competition. So I agree I was being a little bit loose trying to count to 20 on my fingers.
It's hard, though. It's hard because even
you had a couple rapid fires.
Your bookkeeping, absolutely, as you should. You shouldn't have to wait for the other person. So, no, we're having fun on Board Game Radio. That's what it's about. I'm excited to talk about the news here coming up because I think we've got a good show today and some more fun to get into.
All right, well, let's check out the news.
New games, big updates, tabletop headlines you might have missed. Welcome to This Week in Gaming.
All right, Michael, pretty interesting news week this week.
I'll say.
The first news item I want
for board games.
yeah, exactly. Did you hear that Netflix announced that they are working on a Ticket to Ride movie?
No.
So last year they made headlines because they announced that they were working on turning Catan into a movie. Now they are working on a Ticket to Ride movie is in development at Netflix. Alan R. Moon is going to be an executive producer. Apparently the writers from the, what's the Jack Black Panda movie? Why can't I think of the name of that?
Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah, the animated series. Apparently the writers from that are working on the script for that. What do you think that game is going to, or that movie is going to be about?
I don't know, and I wonder what rules they're going to adapt from other versions to try to sell those games. Can you trade in 4 of any tickets to get a ticket to help you complete your route so you can go where you need to go? What is it going to be about?
They're going to have a live action edition that comes out with real characters.
Jeepers,
whoever's in the movies. I'm like, all I can think of is like Murder on the Orient Express, which probably is not a great.
Well,
great
let me know
theme.
what you think of it when you watch it, Doug.
Oh, I will. I'll be in line waiting at the tickets, waiting to get tickets, waiting in line to watch it. Did you hear
Doug,
about?
If it's on Netflix, you don't need tickets. Okay.
Oh well, yeah. I guess that's
unless you're still charging admission to your theater room, which.
Yeah. Well, if they want any sort of award presence, they're going to have to release it in the theaters. I mean, it could be up for an Oscar, Michael.
You would know.
All right. What about Forbidden Legacy? Did you hear about that?
I did not.
All right. Well, Matt Leacock is joining forces with Rob Davio to create Forbidden Legacy from Gamewright.
That's awesome. Will it be in a tin?
I don't believe so. Not if they want to sell it. It's going to be about $50. And it's going to consist of a 7-stage campaign with each stage being replayable on its own.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
the resolution of a stage introducing new elements as you move on to the next.
So maybe a little spiral-bound notebook that you can flip back and forth, or how would that work if it's replayable? 7 different map? Like, what are they doing, you think?
I don't know. I know that they have like a large, almost like a kid's board book.
Okay.
Is what like components and new rules and things are supposed to be coming out of. So you like thicker cardboard pages that you're going to then get new elements, things like that.
Cool. That's cool.
I mean, add another legacy game that I won't be able to play to my shelf.
I'm glad you're doing that. Thank you. I'll play it with you.
Which will be interesting because the Forbidden series has been kind of back and forth, hit and miss for me in general. Yeah. So who knows? I mean, great pedigree there as well.
Yeah, I love, and still continue to own. Had to do a quick check. Forbidden Island. That's my favorite of the Forbidden series.
Gamewright also announced a new Phil Walker Harding game called Sushi Go Party Chef Special, which is going to include 25 new sushi that are ready to be drafted by 2 to 8 players. So
cool.
That's going to be coming on at Gen Con as well, hitting retail later, and it's also not going to be in the tin, Michael.
Well,
so
I will likely grab that one, though. I don't have Sushi Go Party. The Sushi Go 10th anniversary that I brought home from Gen Con has been a huge hit in our house. So speaking of Gen Con, I have 2 Gen Con related announcements.
Lay it on me.
The first one, 2020, let me try that again. Flip 7 has a new lineup of games coming out. Grinch, National Parks, and Liquid Death. And the mock-ups were available at New York Toy Fair and reported on Eric Martin's Board Game Beat. So I thought that was interesting because Flip 7, when it was released, was kind of the talk of the Gen Con, I believe in 2024, but I could be completely wrong and we may have to edit all this out or follow up. So I thought that's interesting. Hopefully we'll get to see it at Gen Con 2026 because guess what? Board Game Radio is going to Gen Con. So that's also news, which is great. Can't wait.
So those are re-themed versions of Flip 7?
Yeah. Looks like they're going to have 3 in their lineup. A Grinch theme, a National Parks theme, and Liquid Death. So the beverage, Liquid Death. Never tried it, but maybe that's going to go in end caps in Walmarts worldwide to try to, buy one, get one. Here, kids, buy. You bought some Liquid Death, get a game of Flip 7. And then here's my actual Gen Con release announcement. This has an intended audience of 1, and I'm talking to that one person right now.
Oh.
And I'm owning it. This is going to likely be my big purchase. Did you see that Thunder Road Vendetta has a new game coming out, Doug? Thunder Road Ignition. Oh, did you have this in your news?
That was the next item on my list.
Oh, let's talk about it, man. I'm excited for it. A little $35 entry level game for Thunder Road, probably going to land in Targets and other big box stores like that, I would imagine, with the $35 price point. But looks like it's going to be in a smaller box, have half-size boards with curved roads that will also integrate into Thunder Road, the rest of the Thunder Road line. So
yeah.
What do you have to add on that or thoughts?
I was just excited to see it, just on the regard of Thunder Road Vendetta was a game that you and I had tried, and the super deluxe edition of it. And I think
Maximum Chrome.
A lot of times we talk about the idea of expectations going into games and how that can play a factor into whether you enjoy something, how it works out. And that was one where I don't know if we had just played Heat recently or some other games, and I just went into it with a completely different expectation of what that game is supposed to be.
Right.
And
I think we all did at the table.
Yeah. And so it did not land, but it is one, after now knowing the type of game that it is and what my mindset should be going into it, I have wanted to try again. but also not wanting to spend the money for the big version. So the idea of being able to spend $35 to try it on and then see, okay, yeah, this works for me or it doesn't work, and then kind of reevaluate from there. I was kind of excited about that to be able to try it again with the right expectations, without the price tag, and see where it lands.
Yeah, and I'll likely talk myself out of it, or you'll make fun of me to the point where I talk myself out of it. But I'm thinking I'm going to grab the Maximum Chrome at Gen Con. It's the best price and the best time to get it, and throw that $35 one in with it. I want the choppas. I want the motorcycles. I want give me the bling, baby. Especially now that I can have curves in the roads. Yeah, I'm in. So, yeah.
All right.
You have more?
I have one more item.
So
how about you?
Yeah, one more.
So the other thing that I wanted to mention was at the New York Toy Fair, Jason Schneider of Happy Camper was showing off a couple of titles, and I wanted to bring this up to you, Michael, because you have enjoyed Trio, you have enjoyed Jungo. So
Big
he
time.
is, and he was very instrumental in a lot of the games that we enjoy from Gamewright being signed by Gamewright. So he then spun off and started his own company, but he is releasing a game called Zeus on the Loose, which he has designed himself, which was originally a Gamewright game in which you're trying to play cards to manipulate the numbers, and you need to have control of Zeus by the time those numbers get to 100.
Yep.
So you're playing multiples and things like that. And then the other one is Beach Bandits, which seemed intriguing to me, where it was one of those games where you are getting cards, putting them down into your tableau, but then also the only way that you can draw more cards is by giving other players cards, and those cards score differently depending on how many you have. So you might score a lot if you have an even number, or an odd number, not as much. Or if you only have one of these, you score a bunch of points, but if you have any more than that, then they only score 1 point each. So that idea of giving cards to other people and screwing up their plans seemed to me a game that you would like, that your family would like, and intrigued by that. The artwork looked really cool on it as well.
Yeah, that's great. I was actually just perusing the Happy Camper website this week to see if any of the Gen Con announced games were coming out, and there weren't. So this is all news to me, and I'm excited. Trio and Jungo have been two of my favorite games from the last two Gen Cons. I just love those. A lot of game for $15 in the box. I love the art. I love how easy it is to get them to the table, and they've pushed other card games out of my collection.
Are you going to get that Trio coat?
No, you saw that, huh? No, I'm going to hold off. I don't need the Trio coat. I don't need the avocado merch.
I might get that for you for your birthday.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's pretty colorful. It would really stand out in my closet, that's for sure, alongside the gray and black hoodies and yeah. All right, my last one, my last news is actually my boss contributed to this. My boss sent me this article, and it comes from a very unlikely source. And the source, I'm going to talk about the source, and then I'll read the headline. The source is WisPolitics, which is a site I go to for my day job. A lot of state government folks in Wisconsin would be looking at what are the press releases, and you kind of see, both sides of the aisle, but what's happening. And this is just the most unlikely of headlines on WisPolitics, but I really think that it's an example of a designer and a publisher and a company that what happens when you break through and you get into some of that mainstream media. Now, time for the headline. UW Stout board game renaissance. UW Stout professor puts the pieces in place for successful game design business. And it's all about Dave Beck and Paverson Games. And we've talked about it, designer of Distilled, designer of Luthier, has a couple other games coming out. There's one paragraph in the article I just wanted to read. Here it is. So More than 4 years after the original Kickstarter launch, Distilled has sold more than 50,000 copies across 10 different languages. A cocktail-themed expansion launched last fall raised an additional $631,000 on Kickstarter, and Beck's business has gained attention beyond board gaming circles, including being named one of the best strategy board games of the year by the New York Times and landing Beck a profile on a recent episode of the PBS Wisconsin series, Wisconsin Life. So I thought, good for Dave Beck.
Yeah.
He worked so hard. You sometimes forget about how people in the industry, what they do for a day job. He's a professor in his day job, but he's also, just grinding around the clock on Paverson games. So it was great to see that in the news. When my boss sent me the article, I actually opened up a Teams chat and I grabbed Luthier and I showed him and I said, hey, if you want to come down for a game day, we'll get Luthier played. And he said, that box is huge. I said, yeah, these are the types of games that he's designing.
Yeah.
So
cool. Awesome. All right. Well, that's what's going on this week or in the past week. And now let's move on.
Each host brings a question, and no one knows where the discussion's going. It's time for What's on Your Mind?
All right, Michael, what's on your mind? Each week we're going to ask each other questions, stumble through thought-provoking discussions, but probably wrestle with bouts of stupidity. And this week I'm going to go first, Michael. I want to ask you, what is the right amount? Last week we were talking about this. I believe it was last week and not the episode before, but this term came up a couple times, was analysis paralysis.
Oh, yeah.
So what is the right amount of analysis paralysis? Is there a right amount of analysis paralysis?
Well, I think context matters, and it's one thing that I do believe designers are putting a lot of time into, I don't know, in the last 5 or 10 years. In a family game, I don't want any analysis paralysis. In a game that I'm playing with my wife and my kids or else just extended family, I want that game moving. I want any thinking to be able to be done out loud, so that there's just a natural flow to the game. In a multi-hour game where I'm balancing tracks and cards and workers, I think if you have 6 to 8 minutes of think time, that's about the right time. Because if you're playing with 3 to 4 players and if your turns are 2 to 3 minutes each in a game like that, by the time it comes back to your turn, you should be able to make a turn. So that's how I would answer that. It's one that we've talked a lot about offline recently. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. I think where games go wrong for me, because you and I play so many games 2-player, is where I can't do any thinking until it's my turn. If the board state is changing 100% of the time, then it doesn't matter if it's a 2, 3, 4-player turn. All that think time, all that look time, examining the board, thinking about what I want to do, thinking 2 or 3 turns ahead, it's worthless. Because now I am forced to re-examine everything, and then at that point, usually 2/3 of the game, it's like I'm just going to keep this thing moving and take a turn. Oh, hey, look, I lost by 3 points. Great.
Yeah.
If I might have put another half hour of think time into that, I could have ruined the game for everybody else, but might have been able to log a win in BGG. So, long-winded answer for you. But how do you see it, Doug?
I don't know. It's an interesting topic. I definitely feel like there's certainly a level of it that falls on the designer. There's certainly a level of it that falls on the players, and kind of that idea of reading a room. And I feel like and one of the reasons I bring this up is I was having a discussion with a friend that used to come to game nights but happened to move away, and we were talking about how she plays games and playing games on Board Game Arena and stuff like that. And she was basically along the lines of like, I just make a move, right? And I move on. I do a quick glance, try and figure out what the best optimal move is in the time, but I'm not going to slow everything down thinking about every permutation. And if I lose, oh well. If I win, great.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think for me, the interesting part is the right amount of analysis paralysis is as what point does it switch over to the winning is more important than the playing, and where people are on that spectrum of, it's like, certainly if you've got 4 people that are really in depth, and this is a game of troll or no battle of wills, and you want to be the supreme master of whatever game you're playing.
Like when I won last week 5-4. Carry on.
Yeah. Then there is, that's baked into, like, yes, people are going to be taking extra time on their turns. They're going to be trying to maximize points and squeeze every drop out because you're in the world of series of board gaming, for example.
Yeah, and I don't ever think I'm in that world. Here's where it hits for me. It's actually in the learning game. It comes in that first game. I want to learn the game so that I can play it well. And this may be a byproduct of the Game Schooler podcast, our previous show, where we were reviewing 10 to 15 games per month. And so that initial learn and teach game was critical. And that's where things would sometimes slow down. It's not so much for the win, it's to actually learn the game. And in letting go of that pressure to review, that's where a lot of it now is just like, oh, yeah, I'll put it out there, see what happens. So I like that. I do.
I mean, I think, like, I guess ultimately it's like, what is the right amount? It's like, to me, the right amount is almost what you said, where it's like every decision should be able to be made by the time your turn comes back around.
Yep.
And in some cases where there's the game that I think is leaving my collection, which is 5 Tribes, which is
never played it.
It's a fun puzzle, but the board state changes every turn, and each maneuver requires so much brain power to figure out, okay, because basically you're picking up a clump of meeples and then redistribute them around the board.
Sure.
The thought that you were going, and then whichever one you end on, you end up taking them and get an action. And so it becomes
you
this
activate
thing of,
that power, essentially?
Yeah, something along those lines. So every turn it becomes, okay, if that pile is still there. Nope, that pile got taken. All right, if this, but now this thing. And then it comes down to your turn, and you're like, I have 20 piles I could possibly pick up, and then figure out which path I can lay all those people out to land on the space I want to land on with the action I want to land on. And it was just like, I can never play this again. Like, why is this still in my collection? And so it's not that that's inherently a bad game, but it certainly is a game that I'm not going to be gravitating to anytime soon because of that. I love a crunchy game of Distilled, but by the time my turn comes around in Distilled, I got a pretty good idea what I want to do.
Sure.
And so it doesn't feel like everybody's analysis paralysis is happening at the same time, or while other people are doing stuff. So that to me is the right amount. And I agree 100% that in a family game, I want little to none. Mm-hmm. But if that thinking time is happening on other people's turns, that's the sweet spot of going up into that strategy level for me.
Good. We got time for one more?
Yeah, go ahead.
3D printer, Doug. Is it worth it?
That's a good question. I think it depends on what you. If you're talking entirely for board games, can be. They can be expensive. The filament is expensive. It's cool. You can make some awesome inserts.
Can you give some
like
of the
that.
details and nitty gritty? Because I am most familiar with 3D printers, circa 2009 to 2013. So your rip wraps, the filaments that smell like sugar as they're baking in, having to scrape with the putty scraper, making sure I don't break my students' creation. So what's a modern 2026 3D printer like? You don't have to get into it costs this much on the front, but just filament. What's the upkeep, all that?
I mean, you're talking about for like a Bamboo Lab 3D printer, which from my research has been the most user-friendly of of a setup that if you're a tinkerer, a lot of people that get into 3D printing are tinkerers and are not looking for streamlined. But if you're looking for streamlined, you're probably at a $500 to $700 upfront cost, depending on what you get for the printer. And then each roll of filament is going to be anywhere from $15 to $25, depending on what company makes it and who's doing that. So it can add up.
Prices have not changed. It's 2011. That's scary, similar to what they were when I was doing that.
Yeah,
in the classroom,
the only difference is it's way easier to use.
Yeah,
it's more user friendly. So if you're getting it specifically just for board games, unless you're really into that process and doing that, probably not. If you're getting it as your whole family as an experiment thing, yeah, I mean, it makes sense if you like that. If you have kids that like engineering and 3D modeling, things like that. I mean, I certainly have enjoyed my experience. I've made inserts. I've made holders.
Trays are awesome.
And I made some coal pieces for Chocolate Factory, which seemed to be the one component that did not match with all the rest of them. Is that old school Sesame Street? One of these is not like the other. So yeah, I don't know if I could ever answer is it worth it.
No, but I think you answered it for people that are listening. So for the cost of a giant campaign Kickstarter or GameFound game, you could have a 3D printer, and it's and we have people who are homeschooling, who are game schooling, who are, it was just curious because you've made some really cool stuff with it. Yeah, that's a great answer.
I mean, I would say that even though I know it makes no sense, the insert that I made for Seven Wonders that holds all of the expansions in the base Seven Wonders game and aids in setup makes it feel like it was worth it for me, because it's just like, this is ideal. So that was kind of like, this is pretty cool. But whether it's worth it to other people, that's your mileage may vary, I guess. But if you've got a 3D printer, let us know in the Discord what you guys think, if it's worth it, if you've enjoyed it, what else you might use it for outside of gaming. That's adjacent.
Curiously, how long you've had it? Because I'm always curious about that. Like after a year, after two, are people still doing what they're doing with it, or does it become I don't want to say another chore, but you know how things in our hobby can become chores.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so let us know, and we'll move on to this week's game.
5 games, 1 list, and no idea what's coming next. This is Blind Rank.
All right, Michael, this is Blind Rank. Each host is going to bring a randomized list of 5 games. The other host must rank the games without knowing what comes next.
Yeah, and first, just so I know, because I brought 3 lists, do you want 1, 2, or 3? So give me a number.
3.
3, okay. And for 3, you're going to have 1 toss out, meaning one of them you could just toss out because you may not know what the actual game is. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to give you 6 for your list of 5. I just thought it was fair.
Okay. I will not be extending you that same courtesy.
I don't expect courtesy from you, Doug. I just wanted to do it with class here on Blind Rank. Okay, who's going first, man?
Bring it.
All right.
You're trying to get me back for my Darwin's Journey
from last week. No.
week,
I'm coming straight Blind Rank. I got you back in the opening segment with a follow-up on that, with telling you how excited I am for the expansion. And I am. Okay, so Unusual Suspects.
Ooh. I feel like Michael's kind of come in with a lot of games I enjoy. Let's keep it open. I'll put that at 3.
3. Fall of Rome. So Pandemic, Fall of Rome.
Yep. I'd put that at 5.
Ethnos.
2. Maybe should we explain what these games are before we rank them, or just assume everybody knows what they are?
I was going to do the full blind rank, and then I'll do a recap. Let's go quick through this so we get our blind rank, then we'll recap each game.
All right, Ethnos number 2.
Okay, Toy Battle.
Well, that should have been 5, but it will be 4, which means my number 1 is probably some hot garbage game.
And then Via Magica / Rise of Augustus, because they are supposedly reimplementations of each other.
All right, then that'll go number 1 with Toy Battle. Was that including the Throwout? Was that the Throwout?
Well, the Throwout I'm not even going to bring to the list because I'm not sure you know what the game is. So
okay. All right. Well, yeah.
This will be the list proper. So
Rise of Augustus will be my Throwout. But please tell me what the holdout game was.
Rise of Augustus. No, Rise of Augustus is your number 1, right?
Yeah. What did I just say?
You said it'd be your Throwout.
Oh, no, I said what was the Throwout?
Oh, Alte, Dawn of Civilization. So the theme of my list is Paolo Mori games that are in my house, in my collection.
Interesting.
Doug ranked Unusual Suspects at number 3. Unusual Suspects is a favorite of our show, not one we can get readily available. It's essentially racial profiling the game, but it is a wonderful party game when you're playing with familiar people. We've played this as a family. It's kind of like Guess Who on some to enter drug of choice here, steroids.
Yeah. For example, it would be which does the murder suspect ride a bike? Yeah, and then you're like, well, this guy does not ride a bike, and then discussion ensues afterwards.
And most likely to not take a shower, most likely to be at a board game convention. So then you're eliminating and you're putting people in and out.
This sweet little old lady certainly is not at a board game convention.
I heard the most laughter in our house in the year 2025 when my oldest was playing this with her theater friends. You know what I mean? So we had like 8 or 10 high school kids in our basement loud and ripping it up on Unusual Suspects. So Doug had that at 3. Fall of Rome, I have not played it yet, but it's a pandemic style game. It's in the pandemic universe. I really want to get that one played, but it's also in the bin to go to Noble Night just because I haven't gotten it played. It's been in my house for many years. So
we Doug can get had that at
we'll
squeeze
5.
it in.
Oh, that'd be great, man. I would really like to play that one.
So that would probably be my number 4 in reality, based on
because Toy Battle would be your 5. You did not like Toy Battle, right?
Oh, it was fine. It's not a game that I.
Oh, I love Toy Battle. I really do. It's a 2-player tile placement where your tiles have some abilities, and you're trying to. It's a king. You're trying to get a path into the other's fortress, essentially, and protect your fortress. A bunch of different maps in there. I
think I did fairly well in it, but
you crushed me. Yeah,
not
I was
my
upset.
Style.
Yeah, I love
cried
it.
himself to sleep.
No. Just got home and got better. Loaded it up on Board Game Arena. Took it out on people from around the world. Ethnos, John Howe art, which also I love.
Yep.
Doug, enter disparaging comments here. Archeo Society replaced that for you, right?
Yeah. The Ethnos. I love the core mechanism of both of those games, which is collecting cards, but you can only hold so many, and then you're going to play a set number of them from your hand. Anything that you don't play is going back and is available for everybody else to steal. Ethnos, the only thing that just kind of bothers me is I felt like the art did not necessarily match. The art on the cards did not match what was going on the board and the tokens on the board. It was almost like it was 3 different games going on. And I don't know how they did on the new version because I know it got reprinted, but based on that, I felt like Archeo Society was a little bit more of a cleaner package. And then it eliminated the area control for me, which was not my favorite part of the game.
Yeah, and then the other two games I talked about, Via Magica, which is a re-implementation of Rise of Augustus, has a bingo mechanic in it, which is great. You could see I got this from the Gen Con consignment sale. Keep that proud sticker on it as a badge. I love that game. That game is a ton of fun. The one that was the throwout where it's like, I don't even know if I should bring this up because I have 5 other ones, but this is Alte, Dawn of a Civilization. This was co-designed with Oli Steinus. Got this in a trade. I saw it at Gen Con 2024 and wanted to play the demo very badly, but people were treating it like it was a full game. And each day when we walked by the demo table, there was not a seat open. So,
okay. Interesting. All right. Well, that worked out fairly well. I was happy with my results there.
You thought I was going to try to crush you, huh?
Yeah, I thought you were going to be giving me either all games I loved or hated. All right. So, Michael, while we go through this, because these are from your collection, so these are games that you have.
Thank you. Well, thanks. So it's a day of games in my collection.
Or have played. Certainly have played.
Okay.
I snooped around your Board Game Geek profile and did what I could. So as a result, I have not played some of these games, so I may need your description as we go through.
You got it.
And
as
then I'll tell you
unhelpful as it may be, you got it.
And I will tell you the theme after we are done. The first one, Tiger and Dragon.
I love this game. I want to keep space open in the one. Do you want description now or at the end?
No, give me a description now.
Yeah, so Tiger and Dragon, you and I played, and it didn't hit for you, but it's
I don't think I've played this.
It's the one with the dominoes where you're going back and forth and you're placing down those chunky bake-like dominoes, and it's kind of a push and pull back and forth. Fantastic 2-player game where you're just trying to draw and place and battle and win some points. It's one we've played with my mother-in-law. Liza and I absolutely love this game. I'll bring it over and show you. I know for a fact, though, that you and I played it one time, and I don't think it worked terribly great for you.
I have no recollection of this whatsoever.
Okay.
So,
well, and I have the imported version, so the version you're looking at, a Board Game Geek from Oink Games, it might not be the one that it's not the one you played. A bigger version. Yeah, this is a 2 for me. I'm just going to save that one spot in case there's a different game that jumps in.
Okay.
But and let me just, that probably was not a very helpful summary of it, but I think we're moving on. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. The next one is 5 Minute Mystery.
Not my favorite. My family loves that game, loves it. So I'll put that at a 4. I'm happy to play it. It's not going anywhere because the house loves it. 5 Minute Mystery has this little codex, real time, trying to solve a puzzle. I get lost in the colorblind sauce on it and just kind of smile and bring my enthusiasm to the game and want to make sure everybody's having fun while they're playing it. So I more game manage it.
Gotcha.
But that's where I would rank it on my list. I think that thing will be in our house for a long time, as long as there's an app to support it, because, boy, do people love it.
All right. Next one is Forest Shuffle.
Oh, I love Forest Shuffle. That's a 1. Forest Shuffle. You're going to draft cards and build combos. First you got to get the trees out. You got to get enough trees out. And then you're going to put animals and birds and shrubs around those trees, and they're going to bounce off each other and combine off each other. And are you hate drafting or are you optimizing? Well, yes, I'm doing both at the same time. I took that from you and added it for me. Yum, yum. Board Game Arena takes all the math out of it, which can be...
it's 10 minutes to play, 45 minutes to score.
Yeah, absolutely. Both are true. So that's a 1 for me, though. I love it. Probably going to pick up the Dartmoon expand alone at some point just to see how that looks, and then move on from one of them. But also a biodegradable box. So I make sure I dust often and make sure I don't get any liquids out. Seriously, it's everything in there is biodegradable.
Cough by it.
No. And if I do keep it long term, I'll be getting some Dragon Shield sleeves on it. So that's a one.
I'm going to get every card graded so they're in those big, thick plastic slabs. So
that's
they
a
last
one
forever.
for me. Yep.
All right. How about No Mercy?
Oh, you're killing me here. These are all my favorites, man. So what's available? I've got 3 and 5.
3 and 5.
Yeah, I'm going 3. I know there's a CMYK version that just came out that's been rebranded, probably with fruit or something more happier and friendly than the Wild West theme. But in No Mercy, you get 3 cards that are basically drafted to you. The game's also called Hit. The Good Doctor has re-implemented this many times.
That's
but then
shocking.
After the 3rd card, if the same card comes up, you bust. And you lose all those cards that you've drafted. And they're numbered like, we'll just say 1 to 9, even though different versions have different, 1 to 10, right? Now, if the next player drafts the same number that's in front of you, they steal that card from you. So if I have a 10 sitting out, Doug's going to steal that 10. And then if the person sitting to Doug's left also drafts a 10, both those 10s are going to move to that person. But if the cards make it all the way around the table to me on my next turn, I get them and I score them. And that's the whole game. That's all of No Mercy. We love it. I've bought it for my nephew. It's just real simple, straightforward, but good, clean fun in our house. So 3 is and 3 would probably be where it sits for me too. So I'm perfect on my blind rake so far until you give me.
No, you nailed this well. I wish I had a better choice, but it did not fit into the theme. The last one is Trouble.
5, man. So, and Liza won't listen to this part. Quick update. I probably need to update my collection. I am looking for Bluey Trouble. The wanted trade is accurate, but Olaf's Ice Adventure met its demise. Part of it went into the recycling, and part of it went right into the trash, whatever could not be recycled. It was a quick, my wife said, I want this out of the house. And I shook my head, and when people went to bed, Olaf's no longer lives here. Ice Adventure. I hate Trouble. I hate that game with a passion. That is a 5. I don't want to play it. I won't play it because we have other different games to play. The Pop-O-Matic is a cool thing in the middle of it, right? But it's a 45 to 60-minute game. You kidding me? It's up there with Chutes and Ladders or Sorry for games like, why would we play it? Look, we've got all these other games to play. Let's play some Tapple. Let's play Impact. Let's have a good time and play any of the other games that are on this list. So that's a 5 for me.
I should have revised that. If I had known how it played out, I wish I had put the other one that could have made this list, but it was slightly below the requirement, which was City of Big Shoulders, which would have crushed you if you were putting that at 5.
Especially since I've got both versions. I got the new version that came in. It's like I don't know which one to trade or to, which I love them both right now. So
as you ranked it was Forest Shuffle number 1, Tiger and Dragon number 2, No Mercy number 3, 5-Minute Mystery number 4, and Trouble 5.
Perfect. I don't want to change a thing, man. What's the theme?
Can you guess it? Any idea on what that might be?
Games with the gimmick in my collection?
Nope. These are games that you have played over 5 times that you have yet to rank on Board Game Geek.
Oh, wow. Well, that's easy.
So, and I think City of Big Shoulders was had 4 logged plays. So,
I thought I had that as a 10.
Or maybe you have both versions in your collection that they're ranked differently.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So the old school one might not be ranked.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. Yeah, I have that as a 10, but it's in the other version, the Investor Edition, whatever. No, that's great. Cool list, Doug.
All right.
Thanks for putting that out there.
One sales pitch, one skeptical co-host. The verdict is in. It's play or pass.
All right, Michael, put your sales hat on. Michael is now going to try and convince me to play a or some games from his collection after the sales pitch and any questions I may have, I will decide whether I will agree to play that at some point or I will pass, and Michael's going to have to find somebody at a convention to play that one with.
Or solo is the third option.
Okay.
And so, dear listeners, this is a game that we've played for about 5 years now, certainly since we started the show, mostly via text. I would say this is most likely like a Tuesday afternoon, especially when Dice Tower used to drop their episode, because that's when I was in my new gamer enthusiasm and compiling a lot of games. But we're going to bring it to you here. So 2 games today. Game number 1.
Pass. Oh, do I get to hear that?
Yeah, I think this is the one that you'd like to play, Doug. It's Andrew Bosley art.
Okay.
Designed by Adam and Rob Porter. This game is called Ember Heart. And Ember Heart is a lightweight worker placement game in which you are on this mystical island of Ember Heart is home to the last dragons. So it looks like a light worker placement. Listed at 12 plus 80 minutes total. I think it's running about 20 minutes per player. But you're gonna, you've got this little board with your own home dragon that you're trying to optimize some stuff. It gave me Potions of Azurland vibe, like where I'm doing things in front and there's a central board, but I'm trying to get into multiple locations before other people are. But there's so many places where I want to go to try to get the happiest and healthiest dragons. It's a game that I know the least about that I have here today, but it's also the one that I'm fairly confident you would want to play the most. So this is the first of 3 entries, Ember Heart.
How are the colors for you on this one, or do you not know yet?
No, they're
and
pretty
am I allowed
good.
to look at Board Game Geek while you're talking about it?
No, please do. No, I want Board Game Geek to be your companion, just as if I were walking my dog and you're sitting at your desk with your iMac in front of you and chiding me about the play length and complexity and all that. So, no, right. the colors look great.
So we got worker placement. I'm not in love with the theme. Just because I feel like there's so many that are kind of like it. Like you really hit it on the spot with the Potions of Azurland really has that. And
I think that's because the art, but the game loop looked interesting to me. It was one where it's like, I'm going to take a $35 flyer on that.
It has set collection, which I love.
I thought in our last show, I thought this was an easy spotlight. You know what I mean?
Sure. And then do you know if the auction bidding is
simultaneous or not?
Or like what type of
I don't.
Okay.
I haven't done a deep enough dive. It's really cursory.
Because if I really have to, if it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm going to put this down and that determines how powerful my action is or something, I'm really on board with that. I don't mind that. Once you start getting into, and even if it's bidding for turn, I don't mind that. It's if it gets into an auction that's part of value, determining value, like that type of auction, not a fan. But this is a play for me.
Oh, cool, great. Well, then I'm not going to try to sell anymore. I'll just move on. The next one, and I think box size will be an indicator. If you notice, I'll just go with, would this be the profile view of the box?
Side profile, yeah.
Yeah, so about 1.5 inches.
The spine?
The spine, yeah. This spine is coming in at 2 players only, 60 minutes, and this is Ironwood. I think this is one of the most thematic games. I actually saw a demo of this at a trade show, and I was the full play guy. I was the guy that went back
twice.
3 times for action. Well, no, I wanted to play both factions. So we got the demo. Then I went back to play the iron side. Then I went back to play the wood side. But Ironwood is a 2-player only, absolutely gorgeous components with some light hand management. Highly asymmetric gameplay. So, Doug, I know you're not a fan of that. And it does have a 2.85 complexity, so it's pushing that 3. But here's my sell. You don't need me to teach you this whole game. You just need to learn one of your factions, and then we're going to compete against each other. So, do you want to be the capitalist iron worker and have some passive income and military?
Ooh.
Do you want to lean towards the socialist, more eco-friendly, probably like your teachers and more of your civil servants Wood faction? Well, I know which faction I'll be playing and you'll be playing. So, hey, there's a partial sell right there. So that's my Ironwood pitch to you had I been out and about walking my dog. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so what are you what is the end goal? What are we competing against? What are we fighting over?
Yeah, that's the board. The actual board itself. There's some area majority
control.
Yeah. Yep. So the Board Game Geek description actually does a pretty good. An eternal conflict for the land of Ironwood is raging between two factions: the stalwart, hardworking, ironclad settlers of the Iron Mountains, and the ferocious woodwalkers, swift and deadly shadows of the forest. So I think. I do believe it's a most points wins. I do believe it's played over rounds. It was nominated for a Golden Geek Best 2-Player Board Game nominee. It's one that won't be leaving my collection anytime soon because of solo component, and one that I can put out on the table and it'll just live on the table for a month and play both sides and have enough fun as if I were playing a video game. So it's up to you if you want to play it, especially after I learned more about the game and I'm able to play it. I saw the demo like 2 years ago, got it in a trade, and just kind of been sitting ever since. It's going to be coming to the table here probably in the month of May.
My gut says no. My gut says
Mine
pass.
Mine too. I didn't think you'd want to play it. This would be like more.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like I am going to be extremely frustrated that I'm not drawing the cards that I want or need, and having something in line, or like, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. Uh-oh, that's a big box. So anyway, that one, Ironwood, is a pass from me.
Third entry is a 4.6 on Board Game Geek.
That's it?
Yeah, about 10 days ago, I started the setup. So you know that it's basketball season. It's also a busy season for work for me and family. I only have probably 2.5 hours into setup so far. There's a rule book. There's a component compendium, which is a glossary. And then there's a scenario book. So I wouldn't want you to get confused of that. But this third entry is Voidfall.
And this is cooperative?
Oh, no.
No. Okay. It says cooperative game as a mechanism.
Well, there is a cooperative.
Oh, cooperative.
You can play solo, competitive, or cooperative. So let me start up there. But if you and I were playing, I guess we probably could play cooperative. If I'm trying to talk you in, I forgot. This is the sales pitch. But if you notice, Doug, the spine of that box is approximately 11 inches.
That's not going to fit in a calyx. Does it fit in a calyx?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does. I've had it calyxed.
One full cube.
I can put Ember Heart on top of it, which is an inch. So that is a hand management lifestyle. Not going to just dip your toe in, need to play, but people who play fall in love. Here's what I had on my sell sheet for you about Voidfall. All right. One of my favorite overview. This was an overview video of it. Said that I am now bilingual. I speak English and Voidfall because the number of icons in the Ian O'Toole, it's mind blowing. Like there's a whole book of it, but designed by Nigel Buckle, David Turtsey, Ian O'Toole art. So today's theme are Mind Clash. I did kind of these are the 3 Mind Clash games that I have in my collection. I'm yet to play any of them. Voidfall's on my table right now. I'm learning it. I'm stumbling through it, doing what I do with a solo game of this magnitude. So
here's where I fall on this one, or my initial thoughts is that Board Game Geek users are saying that this is best at 1. So
Isn't that wild?
I would definitely say that I am not interested in this as a 2-player game unless it was co-op. Can you only play 2-player co-op, or is it like all 4 players can be co-op?
Multiplayer co-op's in there too. I believe.
So I'm more on a lower player count. If it's just me and you sitting down at the table, I would lean towards the co-op end. If it's not, I would lean towards I want 3 or 4 people, but then people are like also not recommending it at 4.
Yeah, so that's probably a no for you, right?
Yeah, only I guess this would be one that if after you played it solo, you felt that there was enough stuff cooperatively going on that it would be interesting, or if you get to a point where you're like, yeah, it would be cool cooperatively, but the teach is such a heavy load that it's not worth it. Like, rather just play Fall of Rome and get cooperative that way. So this is one that I would be like, if you gave me a strong enough recommendation after playing it solo that you thought it would be fun in a cooperative setting, I'd be open to it. If it's a 3 or 4 player game, which is how I would want to play the competitive one, good luck fitting that in a 4.6.
Well, that's just it. And the teach and
2 hours.
Over Andromeda's Edge or some of the others, right? So Voidfall is a space 4X game that brings the genre to Euro enthusiast table. So to me, there's a lot that's pulling on it for me, but it was as a solo player.
Yeah.
You know
and
what
I
I
can
mean?
see that,
And it was one that I did like a 12 for 1, just a monster trade, and it worked. And it's like, great, cool. Give this a try.
Because it's not, and there's no campaign in it, right? Just a one-shot
So there
game?
are scenarios, right.
Oh, okay.
There are different one-shot scenarios that you load up. So I'm learning
quite
the
a range
tutorial right now.
Of 90, like an hour and a half to 4 hours is what the game
But
time
that's
is.
based on the scenario. And there are all these different fallen houses that you can play as, right? So and a huge complexity range in that. I think that's one of the things that has kind of drawn me to Mind Clash is just their range and their complexity range, even within just some of their games. Yeah. Like you can really take it in different ways. So I'm excited to give it a try.
Yeah, so that one I'm going to defer to a better recommendation after your experience. If you come back and tell me this is amazing, I think you'll really like it, then I will play it. If you are like, this is not worth the teach and the amount of upkeep and we got to spend 45 minutes setting it up for, then it would be a pass.
Yeah, I don't think it'll leave my house. You'll have to come over to play this one. Like the box and the bits and the little
you'd have to choose whether you
minis
want
with
to bring
stands.
that game or your entire table. Yeah, because they both weigh the same.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
All right, so that was Player Pass. Let Michael know if you want to play any of those games with him. Maybe you can fill in the void for the ones that I pass on. I want to thank our sponsor this week, Nomad Foldable Gaming Table, for sticking with us. We appreciate that. Check out the website, Board Game Radio, to stay up to date and get all the links you need to track us down. And if you want to reach out to us, there's a contact form there as well if you want to ask a question, things like that. And please consider subscribing to the show on your podcast platform of choice and leave a 5-star review. And from all of us behind the mics, the games, and the bad jokes, thanks a million for tuning in.
Clear the table, call the gang, and keep the good times rolling. Join us next week for Board Game Radio.